Let's talk about one of the coolest and arguably most essential parts of using Linux, especially in today's interconnected world. We're diving into a topic that's fundamental to your online safety and peace of mind. The firewall. It's your first line of defense against the myriad of threats lurking on the internet. Think of the internet as a massive, sprawling city, a global metropolis buzzing with activity. It's full of opportunity, innovation, and connection, but also danger, hidden corners, and potential pitfalls. Every time you go online, whether you're browsing websites, checking email, or streaming videos, your computer is exposed to threats, constantly bombarded with potential risks. These threats come in many forms: hackers, individuals, or groups trying to gain unauthorized access to your system; malware, malicious software designed to harm or infiltrate your device; and trackers, sneaky programs that monitor your online activity and collect your data without your explicit consent. They're constantly scanning for any open door, any vulnerability they can exploit to gain access to your personal information. A Linux firewall is your personal bouncer, standing guard at the entrance to your digital home. It's carefully inspecting all incoming and outgoing traffic, letting in only what you trust and keeping out the unwanted guests. Unlike other systems, where firewall configurations can be complex and opaque, Linux gives you full control over your firewall settings. You set the rules, defining exactly which applications are allowed to connect to the internet, and lock down the rest, preventing unauthorized access and protecting your sensitive data. This isn't just for techies or seasoned system administrators. Every Linux user, regardless of their technical expertise, should use this power to take control of their online security. It's about empowering yourself to stay safe and private in an increasingly connected world. In this video, we'll demystify the Linux firewall, breaking down the complexities and making it accessible to everyone. We'll explain exactly what it does, how it works behind the scenes, and why you absolutely need it to protect yourself in today's digital landscape. We'll cover key features, exploring the essential functionalities that make your firewall effective. We'll walk through real-world examples showing you how a firewall can protect you in everyday scenarios, and most importantly, we'll show you how easy it is, even for beginners, to build your digital fortress and create a secure online environment for yourself. Let's get started and take control of your digital security. So what exactly a firewall? It's a term we hear often, especially when discussing computer security, but what does it really mean in practice? Let's break it down and explore the fundamental role a firewall plays in protecting your digital world. Simply put, it's a digital barrier, a protective wall standing between your computer and the potentially hostile environment of the internet. Think of it as a gatekeeper, carefully controlling who and what gets access to your system. This barrier sits between your computer and the vast expanse of the internet, acting as the first line of defense against various online threats. It's your system's guardian, constantly vigilant and ready to repel unwanted intrusions. It meticulously inspects all data coming in and going out, scrutinizing every packet of information that attempts to pass through. This constant monitoring is crucial for identifying and neutralizing potential threats. It operates like a highly efficient security checkpoint, diligently scanning every bag and passenger before allowing them entry. This thorough inspection process ensures that only safe and authorized data is permitted to reach your system. The firewall operates based on a predefined set of rules, a carefully crafted instruction manual that dictates which types of traffic are allowed and which are blocked. These rules are the foundation of its security protocol. If a data packet raises suspicion or violates any of the established rules, it's immediately blocked, preventing it from reaching your computer and potentially causing harm. Now, specifically in Linux, the firewall is deeply integrated into the core of the operating system, making it a fundamental part of the system's architecture. This tight integration allows it to operate with remarkable speed and efficiency, minimizing any performance impact on your system. It's designed to be both powerful and unobtrusive. The underlying engine that powers the Linux firewall is called NetFilter, a robust framework that provides the core functionality for packet filtering and network address translation. While NetFilter handles the heavy lifting, you'll typically interact with it through user-friendly tools like IP tables, a command line utility that allows you to define and manage firewall rules. Or, more commonly, you might use UFW, Uncomplicated Firewall, which provides a simpler and more intuitive interface for configuring your firewall settings. UFW makes managing your firewall much easier, even for those who are not deeply familiar with command line interfaces. With these tools, you can set rules that are as simple as block all unsolicited connections, preventing any unauthorized access attempts from external sources. Or you can create rules that are incredibly specific, such as, only allow my web browser to connect to the internet, restricting network access for all other applications. This level of granular control is precisely what makes Linux firewalls so powerful and adaptable to a wide range of security needs. Every program that connects to the internet, whether it's a web browser, an email client, or a file-sharing application, inherently opens a potential door for attackers to exploit vulnerabilities and gain unauthorized access to your system. The firewall acts as a vigilant gatekeeper, proactively closing all unnecessary doors and minimizing the attack surface available to malicious actors. It carefully controls access, leaving open only the specific ports and connections that are absolutely necessary for your applications to function correctly. It's a form of proactive security, a preemptive measure that strengthens your system's defenses before any threats can even materialize. By blocking suspicious traffic and unauthorized connections, the firewall effectively stops threats before they have a chance to reach your system and cause damage. Instead of scrambling to clean up the mess and recover your system after a successful attack, which can be a time-consuming and costly process, you proactively prevent the attack from happening in the first place, saving you time, money, and a great deal of stress. That's the true power and value of a Linux firewall. Its ability to provide robust, proactive protection against a wide range of online threats. To truly appreciate the value of your firewall, that digital guardian standing watch over your network, you need to understand the threats it's constantly facing, the digital adversaries it's designed to repel. It's a constant battle, a silent war waged in the digital realm. Hackers often begin with port scanning, systematically probing your network, trying thousands of digital doors, each port a potential entry point. They are relentless in their search, looking for even just one that's been left open, a single vulnerability they can exploit. It's like a thief jiggling every doorknob on a street hoping to find one unlocked. If they find an open port, a weakness in your digital defenses like SSH left exposed on port 22, a common target, they'll often launch brute force attacks, a relentless barrage of login attempts trying countless passwords, dictionary words, and common phrases, until one finally works, granting them access. Malware, on the other hand, can sneak in through deceptively crafted phishing emails, preying on human error. It can also infiltrate your system through seemingly legitimate-looking programs, hiding malicious code within, creating hidden backdoors for later access. Some malware, once installed, immediately tries to connect out to a hacker's command and control server, turning your computer into a bot, a mindless drone in a larger botnet army, ready to be used for malicious purposes. Other types of malware focus on stealing your sensitive data, credit card numbers, passwords, personal information, anything of value. Firewalls are crucial because they block these unauthorized outbound connections, preventing malware from communicating with its masters. Trackers, while not always overtly malicious like viruses or ransomware, can still significantly invade your privacy, silently monitoring your online activities. They achieve this by sending your browsing data, your habits, and your preferences to corporate servers for analysis and targeted advertising. With a properly configured firewall, you can block known tracking addresses, preventing these trackers from phoning home, effectively cutting off their data supply and reclaiming your online privacy. In short, a firewall acts as a critical line of defense, stopping hackers in their tracks, preventing malware from wreaking havoc, and blocking trackers from collecting your personal information without your consent. It's your first and often best defense before these threats can infiltrate your system and do any lasting damage. That's what real comprehensive digital protection looks like. How does a firewall block threats? It all comes down to rules. The golden rule? Default deny. By default, block everything. This makes your computer invisible to most attacks. Then you poke intentional holes allowing only the traffic you want. For example, allow responses to connections you start, but block all unsolicited incoming traffic. This works for both incoming and outgoing traffic. If malware tries to send your data out, the firewall blocks it. The firewall checks each data packet's header source, destination port, protocol against its rules. If it matches a rule, it's allowed. If not, it's dropped or rejected. This simple, rule-based inspection is the heart of firewall protection. It's fast, effective, and essential. Now let's talk about Stateful Packet Inspection, or SPI. A basic firewall checks each packet in isolation, but a stateful firewall remembers the whole conversation. When you request a website, the firewall notes it and temporarily opens a path for the response. It tracks all active connections, letting legitimate responses through while blocking unsolicited traffic. This makes your rule set simple. Allow connections, I start. The firewall handles the rest, tracking and matching packets to ongoing conversations. If a hacker tries to sneak in a fake packet, the firewall spots the mismatch and drops it. This intelligence makes stateful firewalls vastly superior to simple ones. You get strong security with minimal hassle. That's why SPI is a must-have feature. Another key feature is port control. Your computer has thousands of ports, digital doors for different services. Without a firewall, many are open by default. With Linux, you can block all ports and only open the ones you need. For most users, you don't need any incoming ports open. If you need remote access, open just port 22 for SSH and only for trusted IPs. Hosting a web or game server? Open only the required ports and restrict them to specific addresses if possible. You can also control which ports your apps use for outgoing connections, blocking suspicious software from phoning home. This gives you ultimate control over your system security. Lock every door and only hand out keys when absolutely necessary. A silent firewall is good, but one that tells you what's happening is even better. Linux firewalls can log every blocked packet, like a security camera recording every attempted break-in. These logs show you just how many attacks and scans hit your computer daily. Logs are also invaluable for troubleshooting. If something isn't working, check the logs to see what's being blocked. You can set up alerts for suspicious activity, like repeated login attempts on your SSH port. Get notified instantly and take action, such as blocking the attacker's IP. Logging turns your firewall into an active security system, not just a passive guard. Stay informed, stay protected. Let's see how this works in real life. You're at a coffee shop using public Wi-Fi. Another laptop on the network is infected with ransomware. The malware scans for vulnerable devices, probing port 445 for file sharing services. If you have no firewall, your computer responds, and the ransomware attacks, encrypting your files and demanding payment. But with a Linux firewall and default deny, the probe is blocked. The firewall sees an unsolicited connection to port 445 and silently drops it. The ransomware never finds you, it moves on. You stay safe, completely unaware you were targeted. No virus signatures, no AI, just one simple rule. This is the invisible, everyday protection a firewall provides. It's not magic, it's just smart security. By now it's clear, a firewall isn't just for corporations or experts, it's essential for everyone, no matter how you use your computer. Linux is secure, but not invincible. Vulnerabilities and weak passwords still exist. A firewall adds a universal layer of protection no matter what apps you run or what new threats appear. Tools like UFW make setup easy. Just a few commands and you're protected. You don't need to be a tech wizard, just turn it on. Using a firewall means taking control, turning your computer from a passive target into an actively defended fortress. It blocks hackers, stops malware, and keeps trackers out. If you haven't set up your firewall yet, do it today. It's simple, powerful, and absolutely essential. Stay safe out there. Safe.